Welcome to another edition of Africa Sideways. My name's Big Six Simpson, and we got big things today. We got the Audi A7 from our friends from Germany. Beautiful machine this. This is one of the fastest, most elegant, most balanced, most refined cars I've ever driven. And I've driven a lot of them. It's got power, 340 horsepower, coming out of a 3-litre twin-turbo engine. And what I like about this is, it's got the speed of a sports car, but it doesn't have that over-the-top crackling sound that you get in a lot of a lot of the sort of RS Audis, the sports models. Which this goes just as quickly as this does a 4.3 naught to 100 and a governed top speed of 250. Ungoverned, you'll be looking more like 280 in this car. So you put the boots in, and it really is all there. You've got a couple of different driving modes. You've got efficient, individual, dynamic. We'll give dynamic a go. And it's got air suspension, so you can lower the suspension. Oh, it's a little bit raunchy. It's a little bit raunchy, this car, I must say. It's a wee bit raunchy, but that's fine. With all the options, you're going to be well north of R1 million in this car. But what do you expect from a top-end German sedan? This is competing with your S-Class Mercs, your big Beamers, top-end Lexuses, and it really does go extremely well, ladies and gentlemen. I've had it now for about 5 days. Took it to Hermanus. It was absolutely joyous going up to Hermanus in this car. It's got all the power you need when you want to overtake. If you want to go economical and save money and save the planet, it can do under 9 liters per 100 k's. What's this twerp here? So it really does have a great compromise between being a proper sports car, borderline supercar, with 0 to 100 in 4.3 seconds. 4 seconds is the benchmark for a supercar, so it's really not far off that. The RS7, the big brother of this, with a V8, is the fastest 4-door in the world. And now this ain't too far behind. So if you're looking for something, you can put the kids in the back. You can also do warp speed, and you can also be efficient and kind to the environment, all rolled into one. This BMW A7 has definitely got you covered. They've gone for 21-inch Bridgestone Potenza tires on this, which I'm not a big fan of low profile tires, but in this kind of car, if you want to be doing high speeds, it does come in handy. The air suspension makes up for any comfort inefficiencies in the low profile tires, so it definitely is a comfortable car. You can stick it into comfort mode and it just ambles along. Beautiful. We were coming back along the highway yesterday and it was doing 120, and it wasn't even doing over 1,000 revs, you know. It barely breaks a sweat at 100. You know, let's actually be realistic. It barely breaks a sweat at 200, this car. But unfortunately, only in Germany you're able to hit those sort of speeds. So this is really the ultimate Autobahn business executive / family car. This is for somebody that doesn't really want to do serious off-roading. You can raise the suspension, so if you put a sort of an 18-inch rim on here with a slightly more high-profile tire, this thing wouldn't do too badly on light gravel. Obviously, it's not too many undulations, but with a Quattro, not too bad at all. In terms of head turning ability, big time. It's the biggest head turning Audi I've driven. I drove the the not the R8, the Q8 a while ago, and that didn't turn nearly as many heads as this car. Audi have really hit the sweet spot with styling in the last 2 to 3 years. I find that before they were a little bit too we've got a nice little learner driver in front of us. Before they were trying a little bit too hard, but now it's a little bit more understated. The lines are just that little bit smoother, and it kind of feels like a bit of a Batmobile, this car. And it does fly. This car really flies. When you bury the foot, you have to really hang on to the steering wheel, and you get that feeling of, oh, let's give it a try. You do that, and you feel like you're flying. And then on the brakes, into the corner, the Quattro. Oh, handling is sublime. Beautiful. The sound of that engine is just off the chain. It's not too loud, not too soft. They've really gone away from that loud, crackling sound, which is cool for the first 5 minutes, but after a while it gets on your nerves. I mean, having said that, it would be nice to have one hyper sport mode that does turn the engine way up and makes it noisy, but for the person who's going to buy an A7, do they really need that? I don't know. I mean, this is dynamic mode now, so the handling's all the way, the suspension's all the way lowered. Just throw it into this corner. Beautiful. Just loves it. Can handle all day long. And then we'll majestic. Throw it into the corner. What a goer. Whoa, hit a bump and it's still there. The Quattro is on form, ladies and gentlemen. No brake into this corner. Do not lift off. This is the ultimate no lift. I don't have the balls for this one to no lift. Whoa. And then hard through the right hander. Beautiful. Joyous, symphonic experience, this car. Whoa. The thing about, if you're on a slightly bumpy road, I think the dynamic mode is just a little bit too, the suspension is a bit low for South African bumpy roads. If you're on the Autobahn, you can go low slung Larry. Whoa. That's probably the best way to sum up the new Audi A7. Whoa. It really does tick all the boxes. One of the best 3-litre turbos in the business. V6 power. Looks good. You don't look like a dog. Feels good to drive it. In terms of the interior, very well laid out, as you'd expect from a top-end Audi. Got your push button start, information system comes up. It does kind of feel like a rocket ship in here. Loads of space in the back for the whole family. So it could be a family wagon or a limousine to carry executives to and from the airport. I like the frameless mirror, aka the Subaru Forester. It works very nicely. And you got to touch the button. And you got to turn the car off before you can open that up. Let's try that again. Okay, here's the remote. Touch the button. Two clicks, and you got quite a bit of boot space here. Very long. The first thing I noticed about this car is the width. Very wide. You can hear the waves starting rolling here. Beautiful morning in a moment. And this particular vehicle, then if you want to close it, you just press that car and down she comes. Very, very groovy. All ends up one hell of a car, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely recommend it for somebody who's looking for a stylish executive cruiser that can give you near supercar performance, Audi comfort. Audi dealerships are everywhere. I would definitely buy this new, keep it for 3 years, and then buy the next A7. Can't go wrong with one of these. So all in all, in terms of rating, this has got to be pushing a 10 out of 10 for what it is. The only thing that's not going to give it a 10 out of 10 is that if you look on the JD Powers reliability rating, Audi doesn't come in the top 10, generally speaking. So if a car is not ultra reliable, I cannot give it a 10 out of 10. So it's going to get a 9 out of 10. The new Audi A7, a brilliant sedan, elegant, chic, refined, powerful. Well, most of those things you wouldn't describe me, but you can describe about that. The A7. Do you need to get the RS7? No, this is fast enough. This is fast enough. Brilliant. best styled Audis on the market. Looks really, really cool. It's not over the top grayish. Quattro, so you got fantastic handling, fantastic speed out of the 3-litre twin turbo. Really is the ultimate package. And looks quite at home here in Hermanus, in the best suburb of Hermanus, Quattro. You can see beautiful seas out here. This really is God's country.